Bailing out residential realty, that's what we are tracking on Urban Reality today. I'm going to come to you, Anshul, and ask you this big question. The government seems to be saying that, look, we've given every possible sop that we could for affordable housing. We've also given a RERA, whether it's diluted or not, and GST will take shape and help the economy. In fact, CREDAI and CBRE have come out with a report today saying by 2025, we are going to the industry will create so many jobs. So are we taking a very negative view? Do you believe that this is enough and really you don't need to do much more?
Look, there are two aspects to this, right? The projects which are, let's say, going henceforth, right, in a new regime of RERA, in the regime of perhaps the financiers looking doing a better due diligence and developers being more responsible towards the development, the government being more responsible towards regulation, I think the prognosis of the industry is great, right? And at the end of the day, on an aggregate basis, the demand is a lot more than supply. So, the prognosis is great. But if you look at the problem that's been created in the last 7 years, we've spoken enough about it in the first half. That problem remains, and there is no end to that side. On Pankaj's note where he said, the customer should also come in and take a haircut. I just don't understand why
the customer's already taken a haircut by delays of 5 years, 6 years, exactly. 3 years. He's already taken a haircut.
What do you believe?
Okay, do you believe?
I would actually say we should be looking deeper into the developer pockets and say, do they have other land banks or other assets which can be put in those highly distressed situations that Pankaj talked about.
Okay. Sunil Rohakale, are you not being able to PE investments? If I look at the total volumes, $4 billion, but 80% of it is in commercial. And if I look at the figures, let's say 4 years ago, it was pretty much divided equally between residential and commercial. I keep hearing this fact that, look, more monies will come in because there's more transparency. But I'm not seeing those flows come in so far, in residential at least.
Yeah, I think, it is quite distinct now that the flows in commercial are way ahead than the residential side. I think the fact is that as an industry, as a stakeholder and developer being at the center, he's yet not really recognized the fact that we are heading towards a larger tsunami. And at this point of time, cash flows are going to be predetermined and cash flows are going to be predeterminedly important vis-a-vis profitability of the project, and hence it is more important to select the kind of capital you will be requiring to complete the project, whether it is a last mile funding, whether it is working capital, whether it is early stage. And I think rather than haggling on the valuations and prices and the profitability part of it, at this point of time as an industry, we still are stuck and we still are in a hope that someday something will happen and we will again get recovered.
Will happen.
My sense is with these three distressed, nothing miracle is not going to happen. Miracle is in your own control. You have to come forward, take the kind of capital you need, pay the cost of that capital. No capital is going to do charity here, neither the bank, neither the private equity. And hence, it is important for him to understand that few projects, if he makes no money or less money, really doesn't matter. Reputation is what he has survived on, and that is what he can encash on when the light at the end of the tunnel would be there, and which is not going to be far away. My sense is that a year and a half residential would get bottomed out, yes.
Year and a half residential will get bottomed out. Ritesh, my question to you is, all of this talk of affordable housing, are PE investments going into affordable housing at all?
None that I'm aware of. I think really the confidence of the government is quite misplaced over here. They're expecting an industry which is, reeling under, let's say, 800, 900 million square foot of residential development, which is on the assembly line, which it's struggling with, which we spoke with in the first half, by and large, most of the people. They're expecting them to come in and now start, delivering affordable houses.
Absolutely.
And for PE investors to start coming in and investing in that. People have to worry about what they've done in the last 3, 4 years, 5 years. How do they finish that? How do they regain the confidence of the customers? Apart from a handful of projects or developers who, are coming in afresh with, without the baggage of the past, who are looking at affordable housing, which is certainly, I'm not denying that it is the need of the hour. Apart from that, I don't know who else is really going out in a big way.
I think that's an important point made. Pankaj, what do you say? Affordable housing, RERA, GST, CREDAI comes out with a report. By 2025, we're going to have so many more jobs. Why? Why is this optimism? Why is there not enough of a reality check?
So it's a paradox. It's all true. The present is not that great, but the future is great. It's so bright that I have to wear shades.
You have to wear shades.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Gentlemen, we should just be closing this discussion right now. I mean, all of you on one side and Pankaj Bajaj, CREDAI on one side. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. The demand is not evaporated. Look at your own office. I mean, all of you who are watching this show, have people around you, anecdotally, do they have their own houses? Do they have the house that they need? Housing is required. And it's, I'm sorry, affordable housing does not afford the kind of margins that my friends on the panel like to see. They want high teens returns. Probably they will not get. So they need to lower their return expectations.
Okay.
And it's a great future. We will all do well and the customers will get a great deal. This is the time to buy. And this is the time to start new projects. But unfortunately, a number of developers are bogged down by the baggage of the past, which we need to sort out. The industry goes through cycles.
All right. And so 1.5 years, I've been hearing the 1 year phrase for a long time. Well, it's all of us who are going to benefit if the real estate sector actually revives. Deepak Parekh termed 2017 as a watershed year for housing in India, saying that the first time all stakeholders in the chain are incentivized to boost affordable housing. But really, as we've realized, it is not the magic wand to revive India's residential estate. There's a lot more which needs to be done. Goodbye, and thanks so much for watching.